Okay, well, we've just had the royal wedding here in Britain, where briefly the United Kingdom bought nearly as many Union Jacks as the Middle East. On a tangent here, that'd be a misleading methodology for establishing levels of pro-UK sentiment, wouldn't it? You know, judging the sales of flags. You can just see it, can't you? It's, hey, guys, it turns out Iraq imported several thousand Union Jacks in a single week. I think we can say quite safely that we've won hearts and minds there. Hell, we're only second in the popularity stakes behind the United States, and we've got the contract for supplying lighter fuel and matches too. Epic win. Now, just to show my colours, I am a Republican, and I've got the mug to prove it. Yes, that is the modern world. You know, you believe heart and soul in principle when you've got the merchandise. Now, monarchy's an interesting subject, isn't it? And a lot of people here in the UK think it's just one of those nice little quaint aspects to the national character, like tea and cricket and cucumber sandwiches on a Sunday afternoon and brutal drunken violence every Friday and Saturday night. It marks us out to the rest of the international community who can stay comfortable in the knowledge that the British have bad teeth, bad skin, terrible weather and a hereditary head of state. It's a beautiful contradiction the British seem to have with the professed values of liberal democracy, meritocracy, social mobility, equality of opportunity, and a hereditary head of state, which safely reassures us all that essentially where you're born and who you're born to will largely determine your position within society. And I think that we all need that, don't we? Or well, who knows what might happen, really. I mean, if nepotism were to collapse, then it'd just be bloody chaos, wouldn't it? Now, on this hereditary aspect, I think it's largely unfair to the children of a monarch. I mean, they really need to think a little more responsibly about it all, don't they? You know, I don't want to sound like I'm towing a eugenicist line here or anything, but if I were suffering for some horrible hereditary disease, like my face, which is pretty much a horrible hereditary disease, then I personally would think more than twice about having children. In fact, I'd think about it more than 1,000 times because I wouldn't do it. So with monarchs, you think, you do know that your child is going to be a royal, don't you? It's just an inescapable fact, and really it's cruel if anything else. You know you shouldn't be passing that kind of thing on. It's just selfish. Yeah, I think it's just a pity, really, that no one burst into the wedding and shouted, "Stop! Kate! Don't do it! He's a royal! He's got royalty! If you marry him, you'll catch it, and then you'll produce, oh God, I can't even believe I'm saying it, you'll produce a future heir to the throne." And to which there would be just a general astonished gasps, and Kate Middleton would fall to her knees at the altar and go, "Why, Will? Why did you lie to me?" And that would be good television, but unfortunately it didn't happen. Or at least I don't think it did, but then again I didn't watch it, so I don't really know. Nonetheless, you know, they're going strong, aren't they, the royalty, which I think is exceptionally impressive, not just from a social and political point of view, but from an evolutionary point of view, which would suggest that they all looked hideously deformed and had freakish character faults and webbed toes and... Well, I mean, on second thoughts, actually it's not that impressive from an evolutionary point of view, but anyway... Now, a lot of people have complained about the cost of the royal wedding. It's been a bit of an argument, really. But I think that they're discounting the sheer impact it's had on that last bastion of British manufacturing, which is, of course, the production of utter trash that no one in their right mind would ever want, ever buy, or ever use. And by that I do, of course, exclude royalists because, to be fair, they're not really in their right mind, are they? You know. Maybe a little more flag-waving jingoistic royalism, and we'll be the first nation in history to spend its way out of recession via the purchase of tea towels, decorative plates, plastic Union Jack bowler hats, and Wills and Kate's special brand condoms. That last one wasn't made up, by the way. I think we can all say that beats spending your way out of recession by launching yourself into war with a dictator. Well, anyway, now, the royal wedding has definitely cemented the incontrovertible arguments in favour of retaining the monarchy. bolstering it with the Republicans' silencing fact that every decade or so we might just get an extra bank holiday, if we're lucky. But I think that's a truly fair return for supporting a family of the elite in a position of exclusive prestige and privilege. Not to mention the fact that it also helped the country realise its priorities as regards the celebration of the marriage of two members of the upper class versus, the less pressing, less important matter of electoral reform. Which, as we all know, is just rubbish anyway, isn't it? I was kind of interested to hear some of the comments made by the individuals who camped along the road, along the wedding procession, which went something along the lines of, "We're in a more privileged position than those people watching it on the television," which must mean that in comparative terms that I am lower down the social hierarchy than a serf's least productive pig, because I didn't even watch it on television but instead engaged in the seditious activity of playing cricket. Nonetheless, they have the psychology of monarchists and the monarchy. It's all about social hierarchy in relation to some unelected, hereditary individual who, which I'm glad to report, really, goes hand in hand with the fiercely democratic sentiments that we all displayed on Thursday the 5th of May. Now, don't get me wrong, I am not blaming the royal family or the royal wedding for scuttling the chances of the Yes campaign. That would be just too trite, wouldn't it? We all know it was the inherent conservatism of this waning, wretched little nation that was to blame, and nothing to do with the royal family, who are themselves just symptomatic of exactly the same problem. But then, if we as a nation we can be bothered to camp out alongside the road to watch a royal ceremony, but we can't find the time to simply put an X in a box in our local polling station, then perhaps, we are going to get exactly what we deserve. But then, in the final analysis, matters of democracy within a constitutional monarchy are in themselves better jokes than anything I could ever come up with. So I won't even try. To which the viewer responds, "What, you've been trying?" Yeah, okay. Pull the other one, mate.